The morning sunlight filtered through the tall windows of the lavish mansion, casting golden streaks across the marble floor. But inside the grand halls, something much colder was brewing. From the outside, it was just another ordinary day at the estate of billionaire Gregory Langston, a man known for his wealth, power, and ruthless precision. But what no one knew was that today, he had set a trap. Hidden behind the glitter of luxury, behind the walls filled with priceless art and silent servants, was a man whose heart had grown hard and suspicious, a man convinced that the ones closest to him were thieves in disguise. The safe in his study was deliberately left open, the cash stacks visibly untouched, but vulnerable. And the only person who would walk into that room was his housemaid, Maria, a quiet woman with calloused hands, soft eyes, and a past she never talked about. He watched her through a hidden camera, ready to confirm his beliefs, but what he saw next shook him so deeply, he would never be the same again. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing good even when no one's watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks. Your support helps us keep spreading these stories that truly matter. Gregory Langston had not always been cynical. Once upon a time, he had dreams, a family, a heart that beat with warmth. But betrayal has a way of poisoning the soul, and after being cheated by his business partner and divorced by a wife who left with half his fortune, he no longer saw the good in people. Wealth had become both his shield and his prison. His mansion echoed with silence. The laughter was long gone. Now, everyone was a suspect. And among them, Maria, the new maid who had joined 2 months ago. Maria came from a small village several hours away, referred by an agency that vouched for her honesty. She never spoke more than required, never asked for anything, and never made excuses. She worked quietly, often humming soft melodies under her breath, and always made sure Gregory's mother's old photo, kept in the library, was dusted and straightened. He noticed these things but dismissed them. After all, good behavior could be a mask. That morning, Gregory had enough. Tired of the voices in his head, tired of mistrust eating away at him, he decided to put Maria to the test. He opened his hidden safe, the one built into the back wall of his study, and left it gaping, intentionally careless. Inside were wads of $100 bills and a velvet pouch containing a necklace worth more than most people made in a year. He made sure Maria was scheduled to clean the study that morning. Then he left, though not entirely. In a room next door, he sat behind monitors connected to hidden security cameras. The trap was set. His eyes didn't blink. His jaw was tight. He waited. Maria entered. Her movements were calm, as always. She carried a feather duster, a small bucket with supplies, and wore her usual pale blue uniform. Gregory leaned forward, eyes narrowing. She began dusting the bookshelves, gently lifting frames and wiping under them. Then she turned toward the desk, approaching the area near the safe. Gregory's fingers tightened into a fist. She saw it. The open door, the cash inside. But instead of lunging or even reacting with surprise, Maria paused. For a long moment, she simply stood still, staring into the safe. Gregory's heart pounded. Then she did something unexpected. She slowly walked over to the safe, knelt in front of it, and carefully closed the heavy door. She adjusted the frame that hid it and wiped the area around it. Then she picked up her supplies and continued her cleaning, humming that same gentle tune. She never looked back. Gregory froze. His breath caught in his throat. That was not what he had expected. Not even close. Guilt crept up his chest, pressing hard. He sat in silence, watching her finish her tasks and exit the room with the same quiet grace as always. He replayed the footage, again and again, needing to be sure. She had seen it. She had every chance. But she had walked away. Not just from the temptation, but from the test itself. That evening, Gregory couldn't sleep. Something inside him had cracked. something brittle and old. The next morning, instead of hiding behind cameras, he walked into the kitchen where Maria was slicing fruit. She looked up, surprised to see him, and offered a polite nod. He didn't know what to say. The words stumbled in his chest, heavy with remorse. He asked her to sit, and to his surprise, she did. Then, he did something even more unexpected. He asked her about her life. And for the first time, Maria spoke, really spoke. She told him about her son, Matteo, who had died in an accident 2 years ago. She told him how she had spiraled into depression, lost everything, and taken the housekeeping job just to stay afloat. But she never lost her values. What's not mine is not mine, she said. If I start stealing, I lose the last thing I have, my self-respect. Gregory couldn't hold back the tears. He wept. Not for her, but for himself. For how far he had fallen. For the way he had turned suspicion into armor and loneliness into routine. He apologized, though he knew it wasn't enough. He offered her a raise, a house closer to the mansion, medical support for her aging father, and a scholarship fund in her son's name. She accepted, but with quiet grace, the same grace she'd shown when no one was watching. From that day forward, everything changed. Gregory began treating the people in his home not as staff, but as human beings. He started dining with them once a week. He reconnected with charities, visited orphanages, and began speaking openly about mental health and kindness in business forums. Maria stayed on. Not as a maid, but as the mansion's housekeeper and Gregory's trusted advisor. And the safe. It remained locked. But not because Gregory feared it being emptied, rather because he had finally learned the truth. The most valuable things in life are not kept behind steel doors, but in open hearts. And sometimes, it takes a test, a cruel one, to remind us of the kindness that still survives in quiet souls. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness still exists in the darkest corners, please like, share, and comment on this video. Subscribe to Kindness Speaks for more real, emotional stories that restore faith in humanity. Special request. Before you go, please drop a comment below, just one word, about how this story made you feel. Inspired, hopeful, emotional, anything. Let's build a space where stories heal, together.